How is everyone doing? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV, and welcome to the match preview of our upcoming game on Sunday against Cardiff. In today's match preview, I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on the press conference. Then I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on the predicted lineup for the game on Sunday. And to end things, I'm going to talk about the tactical side when it comes to the game on Sunday. But if you guys like today's video, smash that like button. Help me get more than 750 likes for today's video. And don't forget to press the bell notification button either to stay tuned to all things Blue Lions TV. Without wasting any more time, getting straight into the press conference, and it was pretty controversial. You know, Sarri had a lot of opinions on Hudson Odoi and, you know, many other matters as well. And to start with, you know, the first controversy was in regards to Sarri's statements on the racism that Hudson Odoi received in Montenegro. Now, Sarri said that he actually hasn't spoken to Hudson Odoi specifically about the incident because, in Sarri's own words, he doesn't feel comfortable talking about something he doesn't have the solution for. But Sarri did offer his suggestion in regards to what he feels should be done to really help combat this measure in the future. And Sarri's basically saying that whenever any racist incidents are reported within a game, the game should be postponed for 10 minutes on first contact of the situation. Now, I was thinking about that, and I could see why that makes a bit of sense. Imagine if a racist incident happens, whether it comes from an opposition player or from fans. They would take full responsibility for the game being stopped, and just imagine how many people would be angry. And we know how people get angry in football stadiums. Imagine if an opposition player did it, for example. Let's say the game was postponed for 10 minutes, then he faced further action afterwards. That could really help things, because I get what Sarri's saying in that sense, you know. Let the people who do these things face full responsibility and accountability. And I think that when the game's like stopped because of the individual's actions or a group of people's actions, that's going to put a lot of pressure on them. And can many people face that? Would many people risk being an idiot in a stadium, knowing that you could face repercussions from everyone in your stands? I'm not too sure. And to end this point, Sarri was saying that he would like to see an idea like this implemented all across the world. And you guys in the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. Do you feel like Sarri's onto something, or do you think he's being a bit delusional and he's not really taking everything into account? But of course, you know, Hudson Odoi was spoken about even more. And with me, I'm the type of person where, you know, I'm very empathetic. I'm very good at like placing myself in people's shoes to understand why people do the things they do, because I personally feel every action committed is due to a reason. And I'm making this point to provide some context in regards to how I see situations in life. And because of how I see things, as I was watching the press conference, you know, Sarri made the point that he didn't actually watch Hudson Odoi play. He only watched him play for 20 minutes. Now, it's very easy to mistake that as a manager that doesn't care, that isn't respecting the player. But from Sarri's side, he didn't watch anyone during international break because, as he's already said before, as it's been quoted, he already knows the player. He's not going to learn anything new about a player during international break. So in that sense, you know, he's just seen Hudson Odoi as just another member of the squad. Still, you know, he did watch him play a bit. His comments that on the right hand side he wasn't perfect, but when he moved to the left hand side, he was on point. Of course, you know, it's very easy to think that, you know, why isn't the manager going to watch the player? What's up with that? Now, how I took that was, obviously, Sarri sees Hudson Odoi as just another member of the squad. I know it's going to be hard for people to imagine, but he's most likely working. I mean, when you've got so much pressure on your shoulders, when you're managing such a big club like this, you know, it's not just a 9-to-5 thing. A lot of times you're doing overtime, sometimes you're spending nights in the office. And I think that a lot of times we don't really understand the undertakings that managers have to go through when it comes to, you know, just being managers of football clubs. Do I think that Hudson Odoi would be offended by Sarri not watching him get his debut for England? I don't think so. As Sarri said, he hasn't learned anything new about a player during international break, and let's be serious, he's probably doing his job. So I kind of think it's a nothing issue that has become such a controversy for some reason. Sarri gave further statements in regards to his ideas of how to develop Hudson Odoi. It was interesting, and I do think that it definitely is something up for debate. But Sarri was saying that, you know, he's going to play 75% of matches. He'll most likely be featuring in 3 to 4 games this month. He said that when it comes to the minutes that Hudson Odoi has received this season, it's good for a player of his age. And he was saying that next year when he's 19, expect him to get between 30 to 35 games. and as he gets older, he'll get more and more. Now, for me, this is where things do get interesting, because the context in regards to these statements is that, you know, you're implying that Willian and Pedro have been better. But as we've seen this season, we've seen a lot of their shortcomings, and you've been thinking, why isn't Hudson-Odoi playing more? Why is there so much faith put on Willian and Pedro when most times that faith hasn't been repaid? But at the same time, with a guy like Sarri, he thinks of the long term. He's always done that. I mean, he has worked with a lot of young players. You know, he managed Napoli, but that wasn't the only club he's managed in the 25 years of management. I mean, he's managed clubs all throughout Italy with that same approach. I mean, if you really want to judge him on youth fairly, you'd have to look at his time when he was at Empoli. But at the same time, Sarri, with his knowledge in football and obviously how he's seen young players work, maybe he might be thinking, well, listen, I'd rather play the long game with Hudson-Odoi. I don't want to over push him. He's going to naturally develop over time, and he's going to be a better player for that. At the same time, again, as I already said, when Willian and Pedro aren't really on point, didn't Hudson-Odoi be starting more? Which I do agree with, and I have to say, I don't really have any definitive opinion on the matter, because I agree with the sentiment Sarri's saying, but I don't necessarily agree on the practicality of what he's saying. But still, that could be my fan side coming out, and when you're a fan, you know, you want instant results. You want to see things happen instantly. You're not really thinking too much about how we're going to be in a year's time, or 2 years, or 3 years. But one thing can be said, Sarri is the first manager I've seen that is really interested in using a young player. When he uses Hudson-Odoi, he's not using him in very patronising manners, which we saw under Mourinho and Conte. For example, Conte's treatment of Ruben. I mean, come on, you guys. Ruben wouldn't be spoken about right now if it wasn't for Sarri or that loan move last season. You know, Sarri's the first one to actually play him in his best position in like 4 to 5 years since he made his debut. I mean, come on. It's the first time we've seen a player given a development plan for someone that's been promoted from the academy. We haven't seen that. You know, the fact that Sarri is saying that Hudson-Odoi is going to be playing a certain amount of games per season. I mean, let's be serious. Before the season started, wouldn't fans have been happy to hear that outcome? Sarri obviously fully rates him because he feels like he can be an important player in Europe, which is a big statement to make. But I think when he comments about areas he can improve upon, I mean, he's a coach, it's what he's going to do. Someone like Sarri that analyzes everything, I mean, it's natural that he's going to come to those conclusions. Sometimes I feel like a lot of the stick that Sarri gets comes down from people not really understanding who he is as a manager. He is a bit different to other managers we've had. You know, with someone like a Mourinho and a Conte, in that sense, you could argue that they're a bit of caricatures in that sense that, you know, we understand what their patterns are like and how they behave. So they do become quite predictable. And in that sense, it's easier to guess their mindset. But with Sarri, I feel like because he is quite contextual with a lot of the things he says, too often that is misinterpreted and too often it's seen as a negative. And just in my opinion, whenever I see people look at things from a very binary perspective, when it's either really good or really bad, that's when I don't really take it too seriously. Because for me in life, nothing can be really too extreme. On one side, people can only see negatives from what Sarri does. And on the other side, maybe some people just see only positives every single time. As I've been stressing every single time, and I know a few people just can't seem to understand or accept this, I don't like to have a binary view on a situation that's very complicated. Yes, I've critiqued Sarri, and yes, I have defended him, because I personally feel like I'm doing it within the right context. But enough of the press conference, moving on to the predicted lineup part for this video. Now, I've been contemplating a lot. Is Sarri going to surprise us tomorrow? We've seen glimpses of the 4-2-3-1, and normally when we've seen that when we're against the run of play, the opposition team is defending very deep and compact. We need more attacking players on the pitch, and we've seen that Sarri has reverted to a 4-2-3-1 to try and force through a goal. Now, Sarri in his press conference stated that Cardiff City will come out to defend very deep and defend very compactly. And because Sarri is obviously understanding how his opposition are going to be, is he going to react to it differently? Now, as you guys can see my lineup on the screen, I need to see Ruben playing. I personally feel like he's been the major missing link in this team. Whenever he plays, the team plays better. And when I see and notice players that have that galvanizing effect in the team, it means that they're a huge benefit and positive, and they should be starting every single time. Now, yeah, I get the frustrations with Sarri at the start of the season. Yeah, But as I did say, I understood the context at the time. You know, Ruben hasn't played in midfield for how many years? Let's be serious. Under guys like Conte and Mourinho, the last position they were playing him in was in midfield. And when he went to Crystal Palace, he was playing as a wide midfield player. So from a tactical point of view, I think it's understandable that Ruben would have been a bit rusty in regards to where he's supposed to be on and off the ball, playing in midfield. But, and this is a credit to Ruben, I've definitely noticed a massive improvement in his tactical understanding of the role. A big improvement. When I see him now, he understands how he needs to press, where he needs to be off the ball. He's never going to be a guy that's going to run in for every 50-50. But with whatever 50-50s he's in, you're guaranteed that he's going to win that fight 9 times out of 10. And I feel like if Ruben was playing, I think we would have scored a lot more goals, because I see that he knows how to utilize the space and he creates a ton of space. And that's been our major issue in the final third, with guys like Cover and Barkley not creating any space for anyone, with people like Pedro and Million sometimes getting a bit too indisciplined and, you know, moving towards the ball instead of away from it. And of course, this is the same thing for Eden Hazard as well. It's quite easy to see why things mess up. And I think that with Ruben plays and starts, we're going to have a massive advantage against Cardiff. And of course, the big test now is Hudson-Odoi going to start against Cardiff tomorrow? For me, I want to see him start. I need to see him start. But when I do these things, I try to imagine what type of decisions Sarri would make. And a part of me keeps thinking, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hudson-Odoi coming on around the 60th minute mark or the 55th minute mark. But a part of me also feels like this might be the first game we see him play. And I think that, you know, Sarri has to start thinking about the PR side. I understand for a guy like him, it's pointless, it's silly. A lot of times when people have these views, they don't have the full picture when they're making them. And I can see why you want to avoid that. But when you have a high profile position as a Chelsea manager, you do have to play the game. You can't always play the game how you want to play it. And I think that if Sarri starts Hudson-Odoi, that would go a long way in helping him improve his image. And another player I need to see starting tomorrow is Emerson. Obviously, looking at Emerson on social media, I get the impression that it looks like he is going to be playing against Cardiff. And I'm hoping that Sarri is going to realise after Alonso's disastrous performance against Everton, you can't trust the guy anymore. So I'm hoping to see Emerson, and I definitely think if we saw a left-hand side, the left-hand side I've been hoping to see throughout the entire season of Emerson, Ruben and Hazard consistently, we would see real improvement in the final third and as a team. And I'm hoping that now, with no players being injured, with Sarri having the week off as well, working with guys like Ruben to get his fitness up, that is going to be the case. And to end things briefly on what to expect from Cardiff, well, if you guys want to get the full tactical debriefing, and the link above is going to be a link to the previous match preview where I did talk all things tactics. When it comes to Cardiff, we can't expect anything different. Now, yes, with Warnock, he does like to use lots of different formations. He's used so many throughout the season. But the fundamentals of how the team are going to play is to defend deep and compact and to soak up pressure. And for me, I'm not going to be surprised to see them using a back five with 4 in midfield. That's the worst formation for us because it becomes ridiculously hard to play through. And you know, before people start moaning this and that, are you regularly seeing Liverpool's and Man City's thrashing teams that play this style 3-4-0? No. The only team I've ever seen look so fantastic against opposition teams like this was Barcelona under Pep. But it's not the case because it's very hard. Players are much fitter now, so they can run for longer and they can still keep their concentration levels up very high throughout a game. I think the way to beating these teams, and it's very simple, is by scoring first. And this is why I'm hoping to see a lot of positive lineup changes in the team. I need to see Emerson, I need to see Ruben, Hazard, ideally Hudson-Odoi, but even if he didn't start and he got a good 30 to 40 minutes, I think that's still basically like him playing, you know, most of the game anyway, in my opinion. Because when you play against these, you know, defensive compact teams, a lot of times it comes down to the individual. It comes down to the actions and the decisions made by the individual player. This is why teams like Man City are so good, because they've got a lot of fantastic individual talent that can create something from nothing, create that bit of space by beating a man or finding someone with a pass or making that run. That's the difference. And I feel like we still have quite a lot of players not really specialise in this style of football, and it's no surprise why we see so many inconsistent performances throughout the season. As I keep stressing, if I see the positive lineup changes in the team against Cardiff, I can imagine this team having a new lease of life towards the end of the season. That's because with individual talents like Ruben who can beat a man, you know, he can find a pass, he can score, you know, he can his movement off the ball is one of his best aspects, which he never gets praised for, and I'm not surprised because we're still waiting for this guy to play a consistent full season. I think that's all Ruben needs to be seen as one of the best midfield players in the league, because when I just analyse his components, you know, and I analyse his game and the things he does, the only thing I keep telling myself is, wow, with more consistent game time and consistent fitness, this guy could do really special things, and I can imagine he'd really benefit us in the final thirds. Because, you know, we need to do better with our movement off the ball, and this was the annoying thing about Everton, because in that first half in particular, I was seeing Sarri ball, I was seeing everything we needed to see, but the crutch and the bottleneck was the individual talent we possess. As I keep stressing, now that the international period is over, let's hope and pray that, you know, Sarri is going to start using a much more positive attacking lineup. Honestly, it doesn't matter about defensive balance anymore. It really doesn't. I feel that's been the crutch for most managers that I see, that have managed Chelsea in particular. There's always this pragmatism over being adventurous, and it always seems to cost all of them every single time. Sarri's making some small efforts to not be another statistic, but I personally feel like he has to go all out now. Embrace what this team possesses and what they have. That's the attack. Use the attacking players. Let our attacking players play with other good quality attacking ones. We need those combinations and those goals. That's the most important thing. Once we win the game, then we can focus on not losing it. Once the 60-minute mark is over, I don't think we're too far off. But you guys, that's going to bring it in for today's match preview. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.